So our next step for this project is adding color. So I want you to all be aware that you need to choose 3 different color schemes or color families because you have 3 different areas to add color to. So if I look at my project that is now a full grid, it has my horizon line, it has the circle and the tree there. I have 1 space here for the land. I have 1 space here for the tree. And then in the background, I have my 3rd and final space. So you need to be thinking about all the different color families and color schemes that we've talked about in the past. There is a list here on this Google slide. Some examples are warm colors, cool colors, analogous colors or neighbor colors, primary colors, secondary colors, complementary colors, monochromatic colors. Any of those will work, and there's probably some that I've missed. One thing that you can think of is analogous colors are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So when you look at our 12 color wheel, you're picking about 4, maybe even 5 colors that are all in a row, all next to each other. So instead of picking like a primary, a secondary, and then a complementary color scheme, which you can absolutely do, you could also do 3 different analogous color families. So if, for example, I look at this top one, I am going from yellow to yellow-orange to orange to red-orange. Those are all in a row on my color wheel. I can use that for one of my sections. If I look over here on your left, I have yellow, yellow-green, green, blue-green, and then I did jump to turquoise, but those are all in my watercolor palettes. So you have different choices. You can really take this any way you'd like to in terms of colors, as long as you stick to 1 color family per section. You also want to have a little bit of contrast there. So when I started my first project, which has never been finished, but when I look at the bottom of this, I'm looking to see that I have a section of analogous colors here at the bottom. I've got yellow, yellow-green, green, and blue-green. Those are the 4 neighbor colors that I used for that whole bottom section. I can look at the top of, or my circle section of this tree. I could say that it's all warm colors, but it's probably analogous too. But let's say it's all warm colors. I've got yellow, I've got yellow-orange, orange, I've got red, and then I've got my red-violet, which is that pink color. So that would be an option. And then of course I have cool colors here. Now there's contrast here because those warm colors are gonna pop from the cool colors in the background. If you were to choose warm colors and then let's say primary colors. Well, primary colors are great, red, yellow, and blue, but you're gonna have a lot of the same colors there, like red and yellow. The blue would be different, and you would still see the circle pop from that, but do think about how you can add contrasting colors, okay? So choose your colors first. I guess you should choose your medium first, really. What are you going to use? Are you going to use watercolors? Are you going to use markers? Are you going to use colored pencils or crayons or Sharpies? What is it that you're going to use? Are you going to use a combination of them? I'm actually going to start with watercolors, and then I'm going to move on to colored pencils. So I'm going to do a little bit of both here. So let me see if I can tilt my screen down so you can see the table here. I'm going to start right here in the circle part. So I do have a couple different brushes available. If you don't have these things at your house, you certainly can ask for them, or if you're all virtual and you need them, please just reach out. If you see me in school on A days, you can ask me right in school, and I can certainly send home anything that you may need. Okay, so when you go to begin adding colors, another thing you need to think about is that you never want the same color to touch. So this box right here, I'm going to outline the box that I'm filling in. This box right here is turquoise. I cannot fill in this box, or this box with turquoise. However, I could potentially fill out this diagonal if I wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and just pretend that that tree branch is not even there. Because we've done it in Sharpie, you can just go right over top of that tree branch and that would be no big deal. Okay. I'm going to actually just go about using turquoise in different areas right now. And I'm going to fill in, I don't know, maybe 10 different boxes with turquoise. And then I'm going to go back in with a second color. And I'm going to fill in another 10 boxes with a second cool color. So my circle is going to be all cool colors. On my paint palette over here, I've added water to my turquoise, to my blue violet, and my violet. And I believe I also did blue green as well. So I have quite a few colors that I can use, which is nice, in this section. So let me fill in a couple more. I'm making sure my boxes are not touching another turquoise. And I am, like I said, going right over my tree branches. If my colors do end up sitting on that Sharpied area, I can definitely go back over top of it with a Sharpie. No big deal at all. So I don't know how many times I've done this, but I do recommend outlining the square that you're painting in first. That'll help give you a nice outline. It will hopefully keep you from going into a neighboring box. Another reason why I'm doing one color at a time is that it's giving some of my colors a chance to dry, some of my boxes a chance to dry. If I don't give them a chance to dry and then I go start my second color, those colors can bleed together. Okay, so I've got a fair amount of turquoise. I'm going to go in with another color now. I'm going to go in with my blue violet, and I'm going to again make sure that my blue violet is not touching any other blue violet squares. So I can't put blue violet here or here or here, but I can do the diagonal. Also notice that I'm being very careful to stay within that circle. Did you notice this box right here? The box itself, the square, actually goes outside of that circle, but I am not going outside of that circle at all. That is a completely different area. So that's another thing that you need to be careful of. When you're painting your 3 different areas, so right now I'm painting my circle, I am only adding color into that circular shape. I am not going out into the sky. I'm not going down into the land under the horizon line. I'm staying where I need to. And that's what you need to be paying attention to. It hopefully is hopefully you're not being distracted at home. Hopefully you can concentrate and you're not watching TV at the same time. You're really focusing on what you're doing, because the minute you get distracted is when you're going to mess up and you're going to go outside of that line. Okay? Now, the one thing that gets a little tricky is when you get, let's say I'm at this point right now. So if I'm looking at this square that I need to fill in, I have turquoise here, it touches. I've got blue violet, it touches here. I've got blue, it touches here. I don't have many options. I can put purple there, and I can put blue green there. But you need to be really paying attention to what's around there. I've used almost all of my colors, and I need to really pay attention to that. So I can put purple there. You will find that if you are using purple or violet and blue violet, they do look very similar, but they are different. So I can put them next door to each other. You might choose to do it a little differently. You might choose to put a different color there if those are some of the colors you're using. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to just start the background section. When I'm doing that, I could do monochromatic. What does monochromatic mean? It means one color. So one color doesn't necessarily just mean blue and every square is blue. What it could mean is I have blue, I've got blue green, I've got blue violet, I've got turquoise. Those are all shades of blue, mono. They all have blue in them. I can use them. I can also use a light blue with a tint of blue. I could also, if you really wanted to go crazy, you could do some blue paints and some blue markers. Those would all be monochromatic. Now, clearly, I don't want to do blue as a monotone here in the background. I have so much blue here in my tree. So I do want to think about a contrasting color. I'm going to think about something with warm colors in it. Now, I could use analogous colors that have pink, red, orange, and orange. I could jump over here and do yellow, orange, and red. Those would all work. I could also do greens with yellow. I suppose I could do primary colors, blue, yellow, and red. It would still pop out. I will probably choose a group of warm analogous colors. So if I'm looking at my colored pencils here, I'm going to just pull out anything that looks like a warm color. Okay, so I've got a handful here. Colored pencils do take more time. So if you are somebody who takes a really long time to complete something, colored pencils might not be the best choice. You also have to work a little bit harder if you're using colored pencils, because you do need to press a little harder to get rid of all of the white space. So I'm going in here, I am outlining the square that I want to color or fill in, and then I'm being careful to fill up all of that white space with colored pencils. Crayons will go a little bit faster because they're thicker and don't need as much pressure. So crayons are not a bad choice. Markers are not a bad choice. You just need to be sure that you have enough of them. Whatever color family you choose, I would probably make sure I have at least 4 colors in that color family. If you don't have more than 4 colors, you get stuck in different places. You end up with having, orange and yellow and red all spread out, and then you're left with this one square that you can't put another color on. So let me give you an example. So if I'm filling in all of these squares, so these are all getting filled in with warm colored pencils. And notice I did not outline my square first. Because I did not outline my square first, I have some rough edges. Don't love rough edges on a grid. The grid's there to hold us accountable and to keep us in there. So I did not do a very good job giving you an example. Let me try that again. All right. So if I put orange here, let's just pretend that whole thing's filled in with orange and I did a really good job coloring. It's got some empty spots there, but so now I have this one in the middle. I've got yellow that cannot go there. I've got red that cannot go there. I've got orange that cannot go there. That happens to be a yellow orange, so I could use a darker orange there, which would work because that's only at the diagonal. But what if I had the dark orange here? If the dark orange is here, what can I possibly put there? When you use just 3 colors, sometimes you get stuck. So make sure you have a 4th option or even a 5th option, just so you can fill in any squares that have multiple colors around them. Okay, so I'm not going to do any more. I think you probably get the picture, but that's how you're going to go add color. For those of you who I don't see all the time, do check your Google Classroom. These tree projects, these color theory grid trees, they are going to be due on, it'll be a little while. I think I put October 30th as a due date just because you're working on them from home, but you're going to have another project that's due October 30th as well. So puzzle pieces are due on the 30th. That's in 5 days. So if I haven't seen your finished puzzle piece, those of you who are in school, I have your puzzle pieces and they're getting finished. If you are at a home, a virtual learner, do not forget to post your finished puzzle piece. Also, as soon as you're done with this, post it. Show me a picture. I put on your Google site different ways to send it. You can send it through Flipgrid, through Remind. You can send it right on you can attach it to our Google Classroom. You can email me. I will accept them anyway. I will keep track of them for you. Okay, so that's all that I need to say about that. Enjoy finishing these. There is one last step that I will post at the very end. It's very, very quick. But add color. If you have any questions, please reach out. My phone's ringing, so I'm going to go answer that, and I will be with you I'll see you next time. All right. Have a great day if I don't see you. Bye.